Spider-Man. Brand New Day wasn't just another box office success. It may have created one of the biggest headaches DC Studios has faced in years. While Marvel's latest blockbuster raced toward the billion-dollar mark in record time, Supergirl has struggled to gain momentum both in theaters and on digital platforms. Now, as comparisons between the two films dominate the conversation, Warner Brothers executives, James Gunn, and others connected to the project are finding themselves under growing pressure. But what David Zaslav reportedly had to say about Spider-Man's success and the reasons he believes Supergirl fell short has sparked an entirely new debate. And trust me, this story becomes even more interesting once you hear the explanation. Before we get started, if you enjoy Hollywood news, box office updates, and the biggest stories surrounding Marvel, DC, Disney, and the entertainment industry, be sure to subscribe to the Woke Watch and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest coverage. Welcome back, everyone. As of August 6th, 2026, one of the biggest stories in Hollywood continues to revolve around the massive gap between Marvel's Spider-Man, Brand New Day, and DC Studios' Supergirl at the global box office. The difference between these two releases has become impossible to ignore. After only a short time in theaters, Spider-Man, Brand New Day has already surged toward the $1 billion worldwide milestone, becoming one of Marvel's strongest theatrical successes in recent years. Meanwhile, Supergirl has had a completely different journey. After spending months in theaters, the film has reportedly earned only around $130 million worldwide, leaving it far behind expectations and making it one of the most disappointing box office performances associated with the new DC universe. And that's only part of the story. Beyond the theatrical numbers, reports surrounding the movie's digital performance have also fueled concerns. Discussions online suggest that rentals and purchases have failed to generate the momentum Warner Brothers had hoped for, adding even more pressure as the studio prepares for the film's eventual streaming debut. As these comparisons continue dominating social media, many people connected to the project, including Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav, DC Studios co-head James Gunn, Supergirl star Millie Alcock, and writer Anna Nogueira, have found themselves at the center of growing public discussion. Much of that conversation now focuses on a single question: why did Spider-Man become such a massive success while Supergirl struggled to connect with audiences? And according to recent reports, David Zaslav has now shared his own perspective on that very issue. His comments have quickly become another major talking point because they attempt to explain not only Supergirl's disappointing performance, but also why Marvel's latest Spider-Man film achieved such a dramatically different outcome. Before we get into those remarks, it's worth looking at the bigger picture. For Zaslav, this situation comes at an especially difficult time. Multiple reports indicate that he is expected to step down as CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery later this year, although the exact timing could still depend on ongoing corporate developments, including discussions surrounding future business restructuring and merger-related activity. That means Supergirl's performance arrives during one of the most important periods of his leadership. Instead of helping strengthen confidence in DC Studios' new direction, the film has become another challenge that Warner Brothers now has to address while investors, fans, and industry analysts continue watching every move the company makes. What appears to have intensified that pressure even further is the extraordinary success of Spider-Man, Brand New Day. While Marvel celebrates another global blockbuster, Warner Brothers is now facing difficult questions about why one superhero film generated overwhelming excitement while another struggled to build lasting momentum. And that's exactly where David Zaslav's latest comments enter the conversation. According to reports, Zaslav believes the discussion surrounding Supergirl goes far beyond simple box office numbers. He argued that the current superhero landscape has become far more complicated than many people realize, and he pointed towards several factors that he believes contributed to the film's disappointing performance. But one of those explanations in particular has generated a great deal of debate online, and that's where this story takes an unexpected turn. Picking up from where we left off, David Zaslav reportedly argued that one of the biggest challenges facing modern superhero films isn't simply competition at the box office, it's what he believes is a changing audience dynamic within the genre itself. According to Zaslav, superhero movies have historically been dominated by male-led franchises, and he suggested that films centered around female heroes often face a different set of challenges when trying to attract mainstream audiences. He reportedly said that while Warner Brothers had hoped Supergirl would become another major step forward for DC Studios, the film ultimately failed to reach the level of success the company had expected. Zaslav also referenced comments previously made by James Gunn, saying there will always be certain superhero franchises that naturally perform at an extraordinary level, especially those built around long-established male characters with decades of worldwide recognition. In his view, comparing Spider-Man directly with Supergirl isn't as straightforward as many people make it seem. He argued that there are broader factors influencing audience behavior, and he believes those factors played a significant role in the film's overall reception. One of the strongest claims reportedly made by Zaslav centered around the online reaction surrounding Supergirl. According to him, the movie became the target of widespread negativity across social media, including what he described as sexist and misogynistic attacks aimed at both the project and the people behind it. Zaslav suggested that this online environment created additional obstacles for the film and may have affected how audiences viewed it before many people even had a chance to watch it themselves. At the same time, he acknowledged the enormous success of Spider-Man: Brand New Day, but argued that its performance shouldn't automatically be treated as the standard every superhero movie is expected to match. Instead, he described Spider-Man as one of the industry's most recognizable and commercially reliable characters, a franchise that has consistently attracted massive audiences for decades. According to Zaslav, judging every superhero release against Spider-Man creates unrealistic expectations. He also emphasized that financial performance shouldn't be the only measurement used to evaluate a movie. From his perspective, storytelling, long-term audience engagement, and performance across digital platforms and streaming services are all part of the bigger picture. He maintained that Warner Brothers still believes Supergirl has opportunities ahead once it reaches a broader audience outside of theaters. The company is reportedly hoping that digital sales, home viewing, and eventually HBO Max will introduce the film to viewers who skipped its theatrical release. Another topic Zaslav addressed was what many people have described as superhero fatigue. He argued that the genre is currently facing a genuine slowdown, suggesting audiences are becoming more selective about which superhero films they choose to watch. According to him, another reason for this shift is the growing popularity of video game adaptations, which have become one of Hollywood's fastest-growing genres over the past few years. Now, this is where opinions begin to differ, because while Zaslav believes superhero fatigue is a major issue, many critics and many fans see the situation very differently. The argument they make is that audiences aren't necessarily tired of superhero movies themselves. They're tired of superhero movies that fail to deliver compelling stories. When a film offers strong characters, memorable action, and an engaging narrative, audiences still show up in massive numbers. Recent blockbuster performances across the industry have demonstrated that point more than once. On the other hand, projects that receive mixed audience reactions or struggle to generate excitement often find it much harder to build momentum, regardless of the franchise behind them. So for many observers, the issue isn't superhero fatigue, it's quality. That said, one point Zaslav made has attracted broader agreement. Hollywood has clearly increased its investment in video game adaptations, with studios placing greater emphasis on turning successful gaming franchises into theatrical releases. As several recent box office successes have shown, that strategy has become increasingly attractive for major studios looking to expand beyond traditional superhero properties. Whether that trend eventually rivals or even surpasses the superhero genre remains an open question, but it's certainly becoming one of Hollywood's biggest priorities. However, Zaslav wasn't finished there. He also addressed the criticism directed toward Millie Alcock and Anna Nogueira, arguing they deserved far better treatment than they received throughout the film's release. And that's where the controversy surrounding his comments became even bigger. According to Zaslav, another factor that hurt Supergirl was the intense backlash surrounding the film online. He argued that Millie Alcock and writer Anna Nogueira faced a wave of criticism throughout the movie's release, and he believes both deserved far more respect for the work they put into the project. Zaslav reportedly said the team encountered constant negative reactions before many people had even seen the film, making it much harder for the movie to gain positive momentum. He also suggested that Spider-Man: Brand New Day benefited from being built around one of Hollywood's most established male superheroes, while Supergirl faced a very different environment from the start. However, that's where many critics disagree. A large number of fans argue that the biggest issue wasn't the online conversation, it was the movie itself. Many viewers felt the story failed to connect with audiences, while others questioned creative decisions made throughout the film. There was also criticism aimed at comments made by both Millie Alcock and Anna Nogueira during the promotional campaign, with some fans believing those interviews created additional backlash before the movie even reached theaters. Another topic now gaining attention involves Anna Nogueira's future at DC Studios. Despite the mixed reception to Supergirl, she is still attached to major upcoming projects, including Wonder Woman and Teen Titans. That decision has sparked another debate among DC fans, with many wondering whether Warner Brothers will stay the course or eventually rethink its creative plans. Meanwhile, reports continue suggesting there are ongoing disagreements behind the scenes regarding the future direction of DC Studios. Exactly how those discussions end remains to be seen, but it's clear Warner Brothers still has some major decisions ahead. And with Spider-Man continuing its incredible box office run, the pressure on DC isn't getting any smaller. So, what do you think? Was Spider-Man Brand New Day's success simply too big for any superhero movie to compete with? Or did Supergirl fail because audiences simply weren't interested in the final product? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.